वक्रतुण्ड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभा निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव शुभकार्येषु सर्वदा वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम् कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम् गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वर गुरुर्साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात् धियो यो न प्रचोदयात् धियो यो न प्रचोदयात्. Good morning to you all. Soumya Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Jirendra, Jai Swami Narayan, Sai Ram, Om Shanti, and Namaste to you all. Not forgetting, it's Christmas, so Merry Christmas to you all. Today, the function we have, the session we have, is on Lord Dattatreya. Who is Lord Dattatreya? Who is not acquainted with the name of Lord Sadguru Dattatreya? According to Srimad Bhagavad Mahapurana, he is the sixth incarnation of Lord Vishnu and is cozened with the glory of Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, and in this way he is identical to the Trinity of Lord Brahma, who is the creator, Lord Vishnu, who is a protector, and Lord Shiva, who is a destroyer, responsible for the working of the universe. You probably know that ideas of Trinity for the working of the universe have been accepted by religions like Christianity and Islam also. Lord Dattatreya is adorning the position of Sadguru, and he is beyond the characteristic of Trinity gods also, since the knowledge of the self can be realized only through the medium of Sadguru. And probably that is the reason he has been given the name Datta. Datta Ti, Tattvam, Bodham, Grianyam, Sai Ivadatta. That is, Dana is one who provides the knowledge of the self. Therefore, Lord Sadguru Dattatreya is worshipped and adored both in form and without form. And to give us more knowledge onto this subject, let's invite Induben. Induben, all yours.
Dhanyavad. Beautifully said. Okay. We'll start off with 3 Omkar pronoun as usual. And remember our Omkar because Om contains Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahesh. And it's a universal sound that reverberates throughout this universe, known also as Brahmanad. So if you can chant it with me while we are muted. Om. Omkaram bindu sanyuktam nityam dhyayanti yoginaha kamadam mokshadam chaiva omkaraya namo namaha एकदन्ताय विद्महे वक्रतुण्डाय धीमहि तन्नो दन्ति प्रचोदयात् ॐ श्री गणपतये नमः ॐ श्री गणपतये नमः ॐ श्री गणपतये नमः सरस्वती मात की जय गायत्री मात की जय श्री दत्तात्रेय भगवान की जय and Dattatreya. So the th is pronounced double. The T, another T, Datta. So it's Dattatreya. And Dattatreya Bhagwan has got so many Gayatri. Not only he's known as Sadguru, he's also known as Avdut, Digambar, Yogeshwar. So I'm going to start off by doing Gayatri and then we'll go into...
हाँ मेरा तो खाधी नहीं हो पेड़ खा दो पेड़
તમે શું ખાધું એ બંધ રાખીને
સંભળાતું નથી
ત્યારે સારું. તમે બંધ રાખી અને શું ખાધું આજે એ પછી બોલો તો વધારે સારું. ધન્યવાદ. Okay, so we got Guru Gayatri. Om Guru Devaya Vidmahi Mahadevaya Dhimahi Tanno Guru Prachodayat. That is from Deepika Mantra. Now Sadguru Gayatri. Om Guru Devaya Vidmahi Parabrahmane Dhimahi Tanno Guru Prachodayat. And that is Gayatri Mantra from the Kosh Gayatri. Now Dattatreya Gayatri. ભગવાન શ્રી દત્તાત્રેયના વિવિધ નામ સ્વરૂપના અનેક ગાયત્રી મંત્રો પ્રાપ્ત થાય છે જેમ કે દત્ત ગાયત્રી ઓમ દત્તાત્રેયાય વિદ્મહી અવધૂતાય ધીમહી તન્નો દત્ત પ્રચોદયાત અવધૂત ગાયત્રી ઓમ અવધૂતાય વિદ્મહે અદ્વૈતાય ધીમહી તન્નો દત્ત પ્રચોદયાત દિગંબર ગાયત્રી ઓમ દિગંબરાય વિદ્મહે अवधूताय धीमहि तन्नो दत्त प्रचोदयात् of Yogeshwar Gayatri. Om Dattatreyaय विद्महि Yogeshwaraय धीमहि तन्नो दत्त प्रचोदयात्. And that's from Gayatri Vignan, December 1980. So we got quite a few Gayatri for Dattatreya Bhagwan. I'm going to tell you a little story how it happened that the all 3 forms came together. We have got Atri and Ansuya. Rishi Atri and Sati, Mata Ansuya. They are very well known. He was one of the best rishis we had. There's like Saptarushi. So we talk about rishis quite a lot. Now, Mata Ansuya at that time was regarded as one of the most virtuous Mata. Okay. So we call her Shresht. Okay. Now, knowing that we had someone who used to go around doing Narayan, 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 Narayan. You know who that is? Our Dev Rishi Narad. Dev Rishi
Oh, I
Narad.
will message.
Our Dev Rishi Narad was very well known for his mischief making as well. He was highly educated, absolutely wonderful Devarshi, used to give advice, help people, so on. But every now and then he used to get up to something that was called coastline ripples. And once all three devas, Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahesh, they were gone out. So he went to all three lokas and he met the ladies of the loka. So you know all three ladies. You got Mahalakshmi, Mahasaraswati, and Ma Parvati ji. So when he met them, he was talking about the best and the Shrestha Sati in the whole of the Brahmand. So when the Sati heard about it, they thought he's talking about them. He said, no, 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 no. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about Mata Ansuya. So all three satis decided that they wanted to know what was so special compared to them. And ladies are like that. You want to compare ourselves with whether it's clothes or whatever. Why is she regarded? Why is she so respected? So I think they all three got curious. So they said to respective husbands, which is Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahesh, they all three persuaded their husband to go and do an exam, like pariksha, we call it, to prove why she's regarded as the best mata or the sati in the Brahmand. So being very accommodating, Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, all three of them went to Mata Ansuya. In Mata Ansuya, they said, they went in a different pervesh, clothes. They decided to turn themselves into Brahmin, like asking for Bhiksha. So saying Bhikshan Dehi. So Mata Ansuya, as usual, she was always a giver. And as our beautiful Pannaji said, Datta means to give. Okay? Dan Devu. That's one of the things Brahma told human beings. If you realize, I told you a bit different story before. I might remind you later on if we got time. So all three of them said that we want to be fed by you, but without the clothes. So Mata Ansuya went inside, decided what she needs to do. And being a lady of virtue, and she was only devoted to Atri. So she decided in one way, she realized who they were and decided, well, I need to teach them something about the way I live. So she took a kamandal of water. And in olden days, because you told the truth, you had so much power within you. Nowadays, we tell a lie at a drop of a handkerchief. Even in small things, like telling the child, go and tell them I'm not in, but you are in. Why are you teaching a child to say I'm not in? So she decided, because she was so virtuous, she had so much power. And the power comes if you tell truth. Because one of the things we are taught as Hindus, Sat Chita Anand. The first thing comes is Sat. And Sat means to tell the truth. And God Himself is truth. But what we have forgotten is the very, very first virtue within our own life should be telling the truth. Okay. So, being a virtuous lady, she took a kamandal and she said, right, I will feed you nivastra without clothes, but you'll have to become a child. So she put water on all three, sprinkled the water with a beautiful mantra like we do. We got our mantras, haven't you, Pannaji? So she said the mantra. They turned into 6-month-old children, all three of them. So she put them in each individual cradle. So once they become cradle bound, she's able to take her clothes off and feed all three of them. And Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahesh realized what the thing that they ask as an examination should not have been asked by anyone in the world to any lady of virtue. So it was a very good lesson for them. So decided to take this opportunity to combine all three forms. Later on became known as Dattatreya. So you know Atri and Ansuya. Because of them, we have got a beautiful form called Sri Datta Bhagavan, and we sing beautiful song called Datta Bhavani. I'll try and sing some of it if we got time left. Anyway, so here they're all three of them being looked after by Mata Ansuya. And the three ladies over there, Mahalakshmi, Mahasaraswati, and Ma Parvati Chi, or Ma Durga, whichever you want to call her. So the all three of them are waiting for their husband to come back to tell them why Mata Ansuya is regarded as the Shrestha Sati in the whole wide world. They waited. The all three didn't turn up. So they got worried. And they were talking among themselves. What do you think is the best virtue that you become a Shrestha person? Anyway, the highest person called Shrestha person, the supreme person. Anyway, they waited and waited. And it started to get worried. Next thing happens, Narayan, 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 Narayan. And Naraji turns up. And so they asked Naraji, the last time we talked to you, and then our husbands are missing. We don't know what's happened, and they've been gone for quite a while, and we are worried. Do you know, going all over the world, you would know what's happened. So now, he said, yes, they are being cradled in each cradle by Mata Ansuya. So all three of them got really surprised and concerned. So they all went to Mata Ansuya, and they realized, the ladies realized their mistake. You cannot, as a woman, try to examine another woman, or be in a judgment of another one, or try to compete with another one. You should realize your own strength and ability and be happy within your own self. What we all tend to do, that we compare ourselves with others, and comparison brings unhappiness within us. And that's why it's always known that please do not compare yourself with others. Try and change yourself, but not to compete, not to compare, but to improve yourself, to progress. That's a good idea. But all three had tried to find out, create an examination, persuaded their husbands, and so they really were feeling ashamed, embarrassed at their own self. And so they apologized to Mata Ansuya. Okay? And that's the reason we have got Dattatreya Bhagwan. Okay. Yogeshwar Dattatreya Bhagwan. That's the story of it. Now, Dattatreya Bhagwan is connected to Lord Krishna as well. And that's another story. There was a king called Yayati. And Yayati had two sons, but he favored one and not the other. And so what happens, the other one, the one he didn't favor, became so upset, decided to leave his father and go into the jungle. And it's a good thing. Stories are wonderful. We learn such a lot from there. So he decided to go from one jungle to another. And when he's roaming around, he's looking for someone who would give him advice. And he ended up meeting Dattatreya, but he was in Avdut Swarup in the jungle. So Avdut Swarup means, he looked like one of the yogis. So he asked him for advice. He says, my father, Yayati, his name was Yadu Raja. And this Yadu asked Dattatreya Bhagwan to teach him about life, what to do, that his father had rejected him, that he was very despondent, just like Arjun went to Krishna. Yadu Raja went to Dattatreya Bhagwan. And their talk between the two of them is in Srimad Bhagavatam. So Skanda number 11, Adhyay 7, 8, and 9 is known as Yadu Avdut Samvad. If you want to look it up in Google, you learn such a lot about it. It's slightly hard reading. That's why I don't advise people to dwell into it too much, because it's really kind of, right. I think my brain started to go, "Apre kaini maru magad nahi thai gyu." It's a bit hard to understand and assimilate, okay? So the whole thing is known as Yadu Avdut Samvad. That's in Skanda 11. And that is Samvad is so wonderful that he gave to Yadu Raja, that Yadu Raja completely changed. And he goes back to the kingdom and he rules that kingdom for a long, long time in the best possible manner. And when people do that, it's called like Ram Rajya. And from that Yadu Raja came the Yadav Vansh. And within the Yadav Vansh, Krishna Bhagwan was born. So his ancestor was Yadu Raja. Okay? Yayati's son, Yadu Raja. So Krishna, knowing what Yaduraja was told by Avdut, give the same advice to Uddat. And so it's also known as Udva Gita. That might be easier slightly. So Uddhav Gita has got quite a lot of the stuff that Yaduraja learned from Avdut, Sri Dattatreya Bhagwan. Okay? And that's, like when he wanted to go to Swadhan and to his own abode. And Avdutji is very upset. So that's when Krishna Bhagwan gave this Uddhav Gita, like she gave Krishna a Gita, which we call Srimad Bhagavad Gita. It's the same one. This one is known as Uddhav Gita. So you thought there is only one Gita, but there is another one. And that is known as Uddhav Gita, and that's given by Krishna Bhagwan. But it's more or less repetition of Avdut. What Avdut said to Yaduraja is part of it. So that's why it's called Skanda 11, Agyarmo Skand, and it contains that. Okay? Okay. So that's to do with that. Now, the advice given has got talk about 24 gurus. Datta Bhagwan believed that the universe is full of gurus. And I think it's very true. If you look around you, there are so many things we can learn from. And his 24 gurus are well known in the world. Okay, so I'm going to talk about those gurus. The very first guru of the Dattatreya Bhagwan was the earth, with all its mountain and trees. And he's saying, people plow, dig, and tread this earth. They light fire on the earth. The earth does not even move from its course, not even a hair's breadth. It stays steady for us. Although it's moving on its axis, we never feel it. For us, the earth is steady. So the many mountains and trees, peaks on earth, are the abodes of holy shrines and of dense forest, which usher timely rainfall for the well-being of all creatures. So, is regarding earth as the very first guru. And he's saying, I learned that the wise should dedicate his life for the welfare of all living beings. So earth is teaching us that you sacrifice and do whatever you can for the welfare of all living beings. So his very first guru is the earth. The second guru is air. Air is pure and odorless in itself, and it blows on both sweet or foul-smelling things without any discrimination or preference. So too a yogi should ever strive to retain inner calm, though living in the thick of the battle of life. And the life is a big battle, as we know. That's why it's known as sansar. The third guru is the sky. The sky gets thickly overcast or filled with dust or smoke, but in fact, it ever remains its colorless self, and it is never touched or stained by anything. From this, I learned that a true sage should remain ever pure like the sky. So he's learning from the sky too. The fourth guru is water. Water quenches the thirst of every creature, serves to wash it, afford it health and coolness. The sage too should likewise bestow health, peace, and joy to every creature that resorts to him. And that's water. The fifth one is the fire. the god of fire, accepts the offering of everyone, but he still remains ever pure divinity as the fire god. We call him Agni Dev. So too, a sage of perfect realization should accept food of very one, burn down his sins, and bless the giver. That's why we do our grace, because the food goes within the belly, and the belly that digested, we call Jatragni. So it's the gratitude for the Jatragni that's within us. The sixth one is the moon. The moon is unique. It appears to wax and wane during the bright and dark fortnight. In fact, the lunar globe ever remains the same. Like moon, the sage of perfect wisdom does not expect any reward or recognition. A lot of us seem to want recognition or get some form of reward. That's why Gitaji is teaching us to do Niswart Seva. The seventh is the sun. In summer, the sun draws up the water from the earth as vapor and again cast it down as rain in the proper season. So too the sage gathers a lot of wisdom through his senses and imparts his worthy discipline at the proper time. So to give his knowledge to his disciple, he chooses the right time when the person is ready. Okay? So gathering of knowledge is a good thing. But don't show off. That's what the seventh guru, the sun, teaches us. The eighth is a pigeon. Once a pair of pigeons lived together on a tree. They bred their young and were bringing them up with deep affection and love. Thus gets caught in the endless cycle of birth, death, and misery. So we are probably like the pigeons. I don't think we would like to be known like to be pigeons, but that's what happens. And that's why the eighth guru is the pigeon. The ninth is python. The python is a stogad, unwilling to move out. It doesn't want to move even for its prey. From this, I learn that the man in search of wisdom should refrain from running after pleasure and accept whatever he gets spontaneously with contentment. And I'm so glad it's mentioned about contentment. That's one of the things, the reason we compare and compete is because we're not content with whatever we have got. Okay? We don't make spiritual progress. We run after material things. The 10th is the ocean. Just as the ocean never crosses its threshold on the beach, the wise one never trespasses the highest standard of morality under the pool of passion. Okay? 11th is the butterfly or the moth. The butterfly or the moth is tempted by fire to jump in it and get burned down. So too, the unthinking man is enticed by illusionary pleasure of the senses and thus gets caught in the ceaseless cycle of birth and death. The 12th is the wasp or the honeybee. The wasp, the wasp or the honeybee is lured by the sweet scents of the lotuses at the sunset. It gets inside the lotus as the latter closes up for the night and thus gets imprisoned. Therefore, a monk should be careful to accept of them only what is just necessary to keep his body and soul together and not to do any sangra, hoarding. Okay? The honeybee neither consumes its rich store of honey, nor does it give away to anyone. And the wise one does not store food for the next meal or even for tomorrow, because there is trust in the highest giver. 13th, elephant. The human beings raise a stuffed cow elephant in the forest, and the wild tusker mistakes it for a maid, approaches it, and is taken skillfully round in fetters by the cunning human beings. So too the unregenerate man is tempted by the opposite sex and gets bound by the fetters of infatuation. 14 is the hunter. The honeybee or the ant stores up a lot of honey or food material, which it neither eats nor gives away in charity to any other creature. Other more powerful creatures and hunters are tempted to plunder the honeybee or ant. So too the man who lays by treasure of material things becomes a victim of robbery or murder. So hoarding too much is not that brilliant for us either. 15 is the deer. It is said the deers are very fond of music, and that poachers employ it to lure them before hunting them down. Such, indeed, is story of rage, Rishi Ashrunga. So maybe we should talk about Rishi Ashrunga once, okay? That's what he did. He got caught up. The 16th is the fish. The free fish greedily swallows the bait, and it at once caught by the angle hooker. From this, I realize how man meets his destruction by his cravings for delicious food. And that's true. Someone mentions gulab jambu or rasmalai or whatever, and we have a craving. Right. 17 is Pingla. Pingla was a prostitute of Vitnagar, and one day she eagerly waited for a particular client to turn up, hoping that he would pay her lots of money. She waited and waited till late in the night. When he did not turn up, she was at last disillusioned and reflected, alas, how stupid I am, neglecting the divine spirit within my own self, who is of the nature of bliss eternal. Henceforth, I shall expand myself on the self and unite with the God and win eternal joy. So she learned her lesson. That's why he's mentioned the Vaishya called Pingla. Number 18, a bird of prey. One day, a bird of prey carrying away a dead rat and many other birds like crows and eagles, they attacked the prey. And the poor bird was thus very much pestered by them. At last, he wisely let its prey fall, and all the other birds rushed after it. From this, I realized that this is the only way for peace in this world. Not to hoard it again, letting it go. Right. 19th is a playful boy. I noticed the little boys and girls are playful and carefree. They know neither honor nor dishonor. They cannot nurse a grudge or a prejudice against anyone. I realize that the sage of perfect enlightenment is also such. So, we talk about dwand, man of man, praise, hate, all sorts of things. And That's where we need to become balanced. Okay, samdrashti. Number 20, a maiden. Once I observed a family visit a maiden's house, seeking her hand in marriage for their son. At that time, her mother was away from home, so the maiden herself had to entertain the guest with refreshments. She at once started pounding food grains with a pestle, and the bangles on her hand started knocking against one another. So she kept only one bangle on each hand. Knowing this, I henceforth resorted to solitude. આપણે શું કે છે ગુજરાતીમાં કે વધારે વાસણ હોય તો ખખડે. Okay? So the more people there are, there's going to be more noise as well. So he decided, just like the young girl, just took off all the bangles and just kept one. He learned that at times solitude is the best thing. Okay? Right, number 21. We only got 4 left. An arrow maker. Once I observed an arrow maker who was totally absorbed in molding a sharp arrow. He did not even notice a royal pageant that passed by. It is the sole secret of success in spiritual discipline, that you focus and pay all your attention to whatever you are doing, just like the arrow maker did not look at the royal pageantry when it went past it. Okay? And probably Arjun was somebody who was able to do that, because when he was, all the brothers, 5 of them were asked to use bow and arrow, and the Guru Dronacharya put a wooden bird on the tree, and they were told to use the arrow on the eye of the bird. It was made of wood. Anyway, Arjun was the only one who said, I can see the eye and nothing else. The rest of them were saying, oh, I can see the whole tree. Someone said, I can see the sky, so on. So it's how to learn to become focused. That's the main point. 22, the serpent. I observed that the serpent never builds a dwelling for itself. Yet again the serpent molds, living off its own skin. So too, at the end of his life, the yogi leaves his body. So he uses his body to get about and do things in the world, but not get attached to it, just like the serpent. 23, the spider. The spider weaves its web from the thread which it secretes in the form of a fluid. After some time, it gathers up the web in itself. Such was the ancient belief. In a similar way, the Supreme projects the whole creation out of itself, and after some time withdraws it into itself at the time of dissolution. And we are talking about Lord Shiva as well. Number 24, the caterpillar. The wasp carries its caterpillar to a safe corner and closes it up in its nest and goes on buzzing about it. The young caterpillar is so frightened by the insistent buzzing that it cannot think of anything else than the buzzing wasp. Through such intermittent contemplation of its mother, the caterpillar too soon grew up into a wasp. In a like fashion, a true disciple is so charmed and overawed by the spiritual eminence of his own guru that he cannot think of anything or anyone other than him, that is the guru. With such humanity and devotion, I looked upon the whole of God's creation as my teacher, gathered up wisdom, and through patient effort, I realized my goal of spiritual enlightenment. And this is written by Acharya Bharadwaj from Sri Guru Charitra of Lord Dattatreya. So, we all know the 24 gurus that Lord Dattatreya created in his life, and they became the well-known 24 gurus. That the number 24 is very profound. How many of things that are 24? Can anyone tell me? I want you to think now, because I've just given you a lot of information. What is 24? Can anyone?
24 hours in a day.
Brilliant. Good start. What else is 24? Somebody just said
Hours of the day.
hours of the day. We just said that. Right. Anyone else? Because you said a greeting, and one of the greeting is related to one of the religion.
Jainism.
Gayatri Mantra.
Wonderful. Well done. And Jainism has got 24
Gurus.
Gurus.
Avatars.
Tirthankar.
Tirthankar. Yeah. That's true.
Okay. So the number 24 is very profound, and he's got 24 gurus. Okay. And there are so many 24s with the, when you start looking, you'll find more and more. Okay. So I'm gonna leave it to that. Anyone got any questions regarding Dattatreya Bhagavan? Because we haven't got time for the Bauni to be sung. I'm gonna leave it for you to listen to the Bauni on YouTube. It's beautifully sung on YouTube. Okay. And it's described, it starts with a slope that describes the way Lord Dattatreya looks. There is Dattatreya Yantra, which you can, Mahasid Yantra, and you can look that one up. Then they have created the, if you look at this book, it's got all 24 things around it, just like the clock. 24 gurus, okay? So, I think I've given you more than enough. Almost an hour's worth of information. The mantra that goes Mala Kamandalu Lasekar Nichalama Damaru Trishul Vachla Karma Biraje Uncha Dvihasta Kamala Shubha Shank Chakra Eva Namu Vidihari Shri Swarupa Datta Om Shri Dattatreya Deva Ki Jai. Wonderful. Right. No questions?
Induben, I think number 24 તમે કીધું ને તો એમનું નામ પણ છે ને મહાવીરા.
Yes.
Known as Vardhamana. Vardhamana.
Vardhaman. Yeah. Yes. That is true.
And he's known, well, he's the most widely known and respected as he is considered the reformer of Jainism.
Yeah.
Salabin would know. Salabin would know.
24 તીર્થંકર હતા ને.
હા 24 હતા. બરાબર છે.
Yeah.
હા.
Yeah.
મહાવીર ભગવાન.
Yeah.
And we will find more of his statue than any others. The other Tirthankar, you hardly see them unless you go to the Jain mandir.
Yeah.
But Mahavir, you see it in other mandirs as well, because they've included him like they include all the others. So he is very well known. You're right about that. Yeah. Okay. Any other questions? Anything to say? I think you have been thinking about it, which is wonderful. And
Sorry,
you,
what is the name of the link of the bhajan you said?
it's called Datta Bhavani.
Say that again, please.
Datta Bhavani.
Bhatta Bhavani.
B-A-V-A-N-I.
Uh-huh.
Bhavani.
Bavani. Yeah.
Bhavani.
Thank you.
And some of them it hasn't got a after V. It might just say B-A-V-N-I.
Yeah.
And them written
Yeah, I've got it. Thank you.
Yeah. And it's a beautiful song to listen to because I love listening to it. It tells you more or less the history of Dattatreya Bhagavan. Okay?
Yes, it's come up. Yeah, it's come up. Thank
So
you.
Lord Sadguru Dattatreya, human being is to develop and awaken inner consciousness to attain eternal peace, happiness, and enjoyment. To fulfill this objective, Lord Dattatreya came to this earth as an avatar.
Hmm.
Avatar?
Avatar.
Avatar, yeah.
Now, we got 24 rishis, 24 devas, which are very well known, 24 bhaktis, 24 colors that are well known. So, 24 Guru Nakaranam. Okay. So there's quite a lot of 24s, yeah? 24 Puranas, 24 avatars, and 24 Tirthankaro. Okay. And like you said, Gayatri Mother got 24, Chand 24, 24 Rishis. So 24 is regarded as very auspicious number and very prasid within our history as well. Okay. Right? Anything else? I won't sing the Bhavani. We'll go past 10 o'clock. Okay.
Yeah, that's nice.
I have to go at 11 o'clock to one of the temples. So I better get ready.
So, Induben, are you available next week? 29th?
Can I
No.
ring? Can I ring you to let you know? And can I just say something?
Yes.
The thing you put in the beginning, the
Yes.
music, the mantra is so loud and the words are not clear. It really grates on my ears. I'm sorry to say.
Okay.
A lot of people said the same thing to me about if you go to Panaji, she always starts with this noisy thing. You can hardly hear the words of the mantra. It's far too loud as well. So if you can change it, make it something more melodious,
Okay.
not so harsh. It sounds very harsh, that.
Okay.
Not pleasing to the ears at all. And the words are lost.
No, I am doing another video, so it will be done. It will be done.
Oh, I'm glad you will. Yeah.
No. Because it is an old video now, so it's now corrupted, as they say. So I am making a new one.
Thank you.
I thought I'll bring to your notice in case you were not aware, but you're already aware and doing something.
Yes, I am. I am. Thank you.
I'm glad you are, because it's not the first thing I would like to listen to. I'll tell you truth. I'm used to something nice and melodious, and not something that screeches.
Thank you.
Thank you. Very nice. Thank you.
Okay, and thanks everyone for participating and thinking about the 24 things. And if you can today, try and listen to that Bhavani. We sing it in our 8 to 9 bhajan group, which has been going on for last 5 years since pandemic started. And one of the thing is that the Bhavani, and everyone enjoys it. So once you listen to it, you'll love it. and you'll start thinking of the Trimurti, about Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh in the form of the Dattatreya Bhagwan. So thank you for listening, and I hope it wasn't too tedious.
No, it wasn't. It was good.
Thank you. Dhanyavad. Dhanyavad. And I'll let you know the date I'm available, Pannaji.
Okay, thank you, Induben, and Merry Christmas to you well in advance, and a prosperous New Year if we don't see you next week.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
everybody, enjoy yourself, and hope to
Thank
catch
you.
up soon.
I call
Take
it,
care. Merry Christmas to you all.
I just call it seasonal festivities.
Seasonal festival. Yes, yes.
True.
And our life as Hindus is full of utsav,
Yeah.
so many joyful things. So this is one of the other joyful things. And I'm very fortunate. I'm going to joining the jolly activities. So I'll be seeing her. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Induben.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Induben. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Namaste.
Thank
Induben,
you.
thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Namaste,
Thank you.
everyone. Thank
Namaste.
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 you. Namaste.
Namaste.
Dhanyavad.
Namaste, everybody. Thank you again.
Thank
Take
you,
care.
Panna. Have a good Christmas, everybody.
Thank you,
You
Panna.
too.
Thank you,
Thank
Pannaji.
You too.
Thank you, Panna.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Take care and hope to catch up next